Good morning, traders. It is Sunday, November 10th, and it's time for our weekly trading video. Before we get started, tomorrow is Veterans Day. Thank you, veterans, for preserving freedom around the world and for helping make this country safe. Really appreciate your service, and I hope you enjoy your day off. It's going to be a banking holiday, so you can expect lighter than normal price action. How are you going to know if my systematic trading approach is any good? How are you going to know if my stock picking skills are any good? You have to go back and you have to vet me. You have to vet anybody on YouTube that you're considering following. Go back and check what they've done. That's the only way that you can have any confidence moving forward. I'm not photoshopping P&Ls and statements. Okay, I'm giving you my analysis real time. Every single one of these picks, you could go back and watch that video, see the analysis that I conducted, and understand why that pick looked so attractive. There's no guessing. Every single video starts off with a review of my previous picks. Who else does that? Okay, you could have acted on every single one of these trades. So let's start by looking at some of my recent picks. And if we had the video from 2 weeks ago, you would have seen CLS. I loved it. Look at this move. I love this breakout through horizontal resistance. And look what the stock has done since then. I mean, it's rallied from, let's say, $67 up to $87. That is a huge move. RDDT. That was a stock that I highlighted a week and a half ago in my live event. If you haven't attended a live event, we hold them every Wednesday about an hour and a half, 2 hours after the open. Please click that live event tab on my website. We answer questions from traders. Chances are you have the same questions that they're asking, and it'll help demystify trading. So we're going to go through questions. We're also going to give you picks. I had mentioned to you RDDT, Reddit. Love it, love it, love it, love it for a long-term investment. Obviously, it looks fantastic on a short-term basis. Look at that stock go. TWLO. That's the pick I gave you last Sunday. Look what the stock has done since last Sunday. It's gone straight up. During the live event, just last Wednesday, I highlighted Dash. You can see, going to a 15-minute chart. This is the live event right in here. The stock has gone from, call it roughly $167 up to $171 in 4 days. 3 days, actually. 2 days. These are really good picks. Okay, again, there's so much crap out there on the internet and on YouTube that if you're going to follow anyone, go back and check what they've actually said. Verify it. Do not rely on any P&Ls that are posted. Only rely on what you actually see and what you could have acted on. So let's get started with some analysis. Let's take a look at what the market's been doing over the course of the last few months, because we've got to get that longer term context. And we can see that based on where the market was in July and where the market was a week ago, it really had not changed. However, companies had an entire extra quarter to make money. They banked those profits. They improved their balance sheets. Their valuations were much better now because of an entire quarter of profits that they've made, but the price of the stock was about the same. And this dip in here, and this follow through, and this breakout, and this compression right in here, this is one large compression. It's giving the bid time to strengthen. And now we're ready for a breakout. And there was lots of uncertainty because we had a window where we had converging news events that were going to be taking place. And those included the FOMC statement, we had the election, we had big time economic releases, and we had major earnings releases. The earnings have been good. They've been really good. So we don't have a problem there. The mega cap tech companies have already reported. The economic releases have been solid, okay, with the exception of the jobs report a couple of weeks ago. 12,000, that was not a strong jobs report. Strikes impacted that, and the storms impacted that. Analysts believe to the degree of about 100,000 jobs. So if we add 100,000 up, 112,000 jobs is still not very strong. But the Fed came in and cut interest rates by 1/4 of a point this week. As I'd mentioned to you, if we looked at the last 24 years, the last 6 elections, 4 of those have resulted in a rally the next day. The 2 exceptions were the hanging chads in the year 2000, and the market opened pretty flat, but it started to sell off a little bit a week or 2 afterwards when there was uncertainty. We didn't know who the president would be, and the market didn't like that uncertainty. The other exception was when President Obama was elected in 2008. We were in the heart of a financial crisis. So after the election, the market sold off pretty hard. But the other times, the market has actually opened a little bit higher. That's a relief rally. There's less uncertainty. And this is what I had told you back a week ago. I had said, listen, everything here tells me that the market is going to continue to move higher, and we should see a relief rally, and we should see a breakout. That's exactly what we got this week. And now it looks likely that Republicans are going to control, obviously, the White House and the Senate. They've already got those seats locked in. The House is a little bit up for grabs, but not really, because we're starting to get those numbers in, and the Republicans look like they're going to be winning the House. And I looked at how all of those races were playing out, and it looked like the Republicans had about a 2-seat advantage based on those outcomes. So they will actually increase their presence in the House by a couple of seats or so. So now they control all 3 branches. They've got the House, the Senate, and the executive branch. So they're going to be able to do what they want to do as far as implementing their game plan. The market had its relief rally. You can see how it's continuing to march higher, and we've got a dovish Fed. So this is all systems go as far as I'm concerned. We have seasonal strength also coming into play. So asset managers like to mark up their portfolios into year end, and that explains why the market marches higher. People feel really good when they open up their end of year statement and they've made money. Assets under management is how asset managers get paid on a percentage of them, so their bonuses go up. The bottom line is that I've been telling you back for the last 2 months or so that this market wants to move higher. Okay, when we had our little dip back here in August, it was very quickly resolved. This was the critical juncture, and we needed to stay below the 50-day moving average, and then we would have been looking for a lower high double top and a possible decline. When the market rallied sharply above that 50-day moving average and it challenged that high, that was a definite sign that buyers were still in control and that the selling pressure was not that great. Then you get the next little dip, still well above the 100-day moving average, higher low. Okay, look at how it bounced right back from this little dip and rallied back up to the all-time high. This was the tell that the market was going to go higher and that buyers were still in control. Now we have mixed overlapping candles in here, and the volume was fairly light because we had major news pending. We had to get through the economic news. We had to get through the election. We had to get through the FOMC statement. The Fed is dovish. All systems are go. stay long. And that is why for the last 2 months, you haven't seen me come up with any bearish stock picks. It's been stay long, stay long, stay long. Guess what? Today we're going to be looking for a long. And I don't have to go into any great analysis because there are lots of great longs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and take a look at the green royal flush search. I'll look at a couple of others. I'm going to remove this to save some room here. And we'll take a look at a couple of searches, but I know that I'll be able to find what I'm looking for in these searches. I have one stock in particular. TMUS is one that I looked at, and that's a really nice stock. It just doesn't make huge moves. You can see grind, 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 grind. So it just has this nice tight price action in here. You get your earnings reaction, you get a pullback. This is a stock that's going to continue to grind higher. If I go through all of my searches, I'm going to look at Tesla because that is a stock pattern that I really, really like. You can see how the stock is breaking through resistance on massive volume, really heavy volume. Let's go back and take a look at this trend line. This is what I call a balanced trend line. What does that mean? And these are our automated trend lines. You can see how the starting point and the end point and the intercept all have nice spacing. So they're not real packed together. Well, that type of trend line tends to produce really good follow through. So I would respect this. I love the fact that the stock has gotten through horizontal resistance. I love that it's got good volume. I love that in the last few days, the stock has been relentlessly moving higher. Look at that price action on Friday and look at that heavy, heavy volume. Tesla, it's my pick of the week. Really easy to find. I went into one of our searches called heavy buying. I could have found it a number of different ways. I love the volume. I love the breakout. I think this stock is going to continue to move higher into year end. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. You can also see that there's a horizontal resistance line right here. The stock has easily been able to move through that, again, on heavy volume there. You've got a downward sloping trend line right here that was breached to the upside on a longer term basis. This stock is all systems go. I really don't need to look at any other stocks this week. When I look at what news might be impacting the market during the course of the next week, pretty uneventful news cycle. So we have CPI, I believe, on Thursday, and we have retail sales. So there's not really much in the way of news to stand in the way of this market rally. And you've got the elections over, you've seasonal strength, all systems go. I don't really know what else to tell you. The market is moving higher, but don't get FOMO. If you can, try to set some alerts, try to buy some dips. And I'll see if I can use our buy and sell signals and find some good entry points. You can see on an H1 basis that the trade signals have been on a buy signal after this breakout in here. That was nice. And so you could look at this and go, oh, wait a minute, you've got some nasty signals in here. This is a sell signal. That's earnings after the close. You would never want to take a trade signal ahead of earnings announcements because we don't trade earnings announcements. Here you've got an entry, you've got an exit, and actually a short. So here you would have scratched, here you would have lost money on this big gap up, but now you're back long again. This is again, if you would have traded on an H1 basis. But you can't just look at one sample. There's a really nice trade in there. The trade signals are excellent. They're particularly strong when they agree across multiple time frames. So I suggest that you look not just at an M5, but an M15 and maybe an M30 if you're a shorter term trader. For your longer term swing trader, you'd want to make sure to use D1, H1, and then a shorter time frame, maybe M30 or so. When they are all in agreement, it's all systems go. That's when you want to be in the trade. So what I see right now in Tesla, and this is another time frame. This is a 15-minute time frame. Really nice buy. You're out up in here. That's an exit. Nice little short in there. Nice little short in here. Let's say you scratch that, make a little bit of money. Really good long right in there. So the trade signals are an excellent indicator. It's one that you should be using as a variable. So in this particular instance, you get this nice big breakout in Tesla. Okay, what do we do with that information? Well, you click, right click, create alert, trade signal. In this case, you'd go M15. Let me know when it's on a buy signal. You would set that alert right here. Well, wait a minute, Pete, it's on a buy signal. Yes, you could have short-term day traded it. If you're looking for a swing entry, you didn't want to be FOMO'd into the trade. You wanted to wait for a nice little dip. So you wait for a dip. Oh, there's my buy signal right there. You're long in there. Beautiful entry point because you get your trade alert here and you would have looked at it. And this is the beauty of using alerts, is you don't have to trade when you get an alert. You have no capital outlay. You have no emotional attachment to the trade. You're simply evaluating. If this happens, there's a window of opportunity for me to evaluate what has happened, and I'm evaluating a dip. Okay, so you liked it here, you get your alert here, you evaluate the dip, and you go, hey, you know what? This gap up, it checked the gap up. Very common. The open from this gap up was preserved, and now I got another buy signal. That's cool. I expect a little bit of a retracement in here, but much of that gap up was preserved. I like this entry point. That's the process that you go through when you're buying dips. And right now, I just set an M15 buy alert for Tesla. When I get that, I'm going to be looking to see what the stock did right in here when it dipped. If it preserves this high, nice. If it preserves that low, nice. Those are all things that I'm looking for. This long green candle from Friday, if it pulls back, I'd like to see half of it preserved. Well, what's the halfway point of it? Maybe it's VWAP, okay? So when you go into a 5-minute chart, you know what VWAP is, okay? You can see that VWAP is right at about 316, 317. So I want 317 preserved. I'd like to see VWAP preserved when I eventually get that buy signal, okay? Or another price point might be this $300 price point. Hey, I'd like to see this preserved. I like using half the candle. So if I look at the open, which is roughly 300, and I look at the high, which was roughly 328. So $14, $314 is a level that I'd want to see preserved when I get my next M15 buy signal on Tesla. If the market still looks good, it's met that criteria. The dip was brief and shallow. I've got an entry point for Tesla. I could take a look at a couple of other stocks. Don't really need to. APP. If you go back and watch, I told you when APP was breaking out back in here, these stacked green candles told me that this stock was going to absolutely fly. And go back to a September 12th video or anywhere in that time range, and you will see APP, and you'll see me talk very strongly about this stock, just like I talked about Reddit in the live event a few days ago. And this stock has gone from $106 to, yeah, it's made that kind of a big move here recently. So, incredible move. And much of that was this earnings reaction right in here. Would I have caught that earnings reaction? Well, if I'm a long-term investor, yes. If I'm a short-term trader, no. I would go to the sidelines and I would not have caught that move because I don't want to have that risk. So in here, you would be looking for an opportunity to get long. I wouldn't chase it in here. This stock is eventually going to pull back. It's been up so much. It's gone up 300% in the last month and a half. Well, it's gone from $100 to $300, so it's gone up 200%. But yeah, that's a huge move. At this stage, I'd kind of sit back on it. I wouldn't want to chase it right here. So these stocks all look pretty attractive. I'm not going to spend a lot of time flipping through them. You can do that yourself. Nice search there. Green Royal Flush. These are all excellent candidates in here as well. There's nothing that I looked at. I flipped probably 20 charts or so. When I saw Tesla last Friday, it was just all over it. I'm like, yeah, this stock is going to definitely go. That's a big breakout. That's your pick of the week. I would try to buy a dip. I would wait for the market to find support on Monday. Know that the banks are closed on Monday. Ding, 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 ding. In the back of your mind, that's going to be a low probability trading environment because the banks are closed, the market's open, but the price action's likely to be choppy. I don't have to make any big decisions on Monday. I can ease into a stock like Tesla Monday or even Tuesday, depending on how long I want to hang on to it. But it's going to be a low probability trading day on Monday. The action should pick up a little bit into the week, but I'm looking for this drift higher to continue. Sure, we might have a red candle in here or two, but we've got a nice breakout here. We've got some momentum. All the news, all the catalysts are behind us. They're telling us that the market wants to go higher. We've got a dovish Fed. Be long. Be long. Don't be nervous. If you're looking to put some swing trades on, start very small. As the position continues to perform, as you continue to get technical confirmation that this stock is going higher, it has relative strength and good volume, you add to the position, knowing that your average cost is way below the current price, and that worst case scenario, you could always scratch at your entry price. And then you just manage the trade. And when you have opportunities and the dips are brief and shallow and the market is strong, you add to the position. And then not until year end, you would be looking for that upward momentum to start waning and for the market to be in a horizontal pattern with very tiny bodied candles and light volume. And that's where you can start to take some of the gains off. That's how you manage positions. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Again, thank you, veterans. I hope you enjoy your day.
Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm Pete Stolzers, and I'm going to keep the trade ideas coming along with lots of education, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notifications so that you never miss another trade. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. I've loaded 2 other videos that I think you're really going to enjoy. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.